Your first game is going to fail, and it's not because you're not good enough, and it's not because your idea is bad, it's because it's too big and you can't even see it yet. I've watched so many projects die in this exact spot. It's not at the start, it's when motivation is high and it's around 3 months in, when the person finally realizes the thing they are building needs a professional studio, 2 years and 40 people to create. And you're one person and they learn as they go. So today I'm not going to hype you up. I'm going to show you how to make your first game small enough to actually finish it. Because a bad finished game teaches you so much more than a beautiful unfinished one. Here's the thing nobody tells you beginners. Scope is a silent killer. It's not skill or engine or art. Scope creep doesn't feel like a problem, and especially not while it's happening. It feels really ambitious, and that's a false hope. You start with something like a simple platformer, and then you want to expand even more, like with skill trees, more biomes, crafting systems, a boss with phases, and each addition feels reasonable. Really, on its own it feels reasonable. Each one is just one more brick on the bridge you're building. But to where is that bridge going? To nowhere. Because you keep moving to the other end. And the cruel part is that you don't even notice you're overscoped until you're deep enough in that it actually hurts. The project gets so big, too big to finish, but too painful to abandon. So it just sits there. You open the engine and it's judging you. So why does this happen to so many people? 2 reasons. First of all, you're comparing your day 1 project to finished games. You played Hollow Knight, you played Hades, and some part of your brain sets that baseline. But those are outputs of teams who already failed at 10 similar things. You're not seeing their first game, you're seeing their 10th. Secondly, and this is the real one, building a small game feels like admitting you're a beginner. And your ego doesn't want that. I totally get that. So you pick a scope that matches the developer you want to be and not the one you are today. You're not planning in the mistakes, and that's an emotional problem. And until you name it, you will keep making this mistake. Okay, so how do we actually stop this and scope a game correctly? Here's the framework I'd give anyone starting today. Step 1, pick a loop you can describe in a sentence, like jumping between platforms and avoiding hazards, or match 3 tiles to clear the board. If you need a paragraph, that's too big for your first game. Just use 1 sentence, 1 verb. 2. Cut the feature that isn't in that loop and don't add menus yet. No save system, no story. Build the fun first, the thing the player actually does 90% of the game. Because you will do 90% of the game yourself. It doesn't matter if there's a main menu in the first 5 weeks. If the core loop isn't fun, with maybe gray boxes and bad art, no amount of polish can save it. Because the problem is that you don't have a finished game and you're trying to make it look really great, but there isn't any content yet. And you just learned that in a week instead of a year. Number 3 is to set a deadline. That scares you a little. 2 weeks is good for one person, 4 weeks for another. But it shouldn't be when it's done. Done is a lie you tell yourself forever. I see so many developers talk about the game in hindsight telling, I could have added this and that. Set a date, because scope expands to fill whatever time you give it. So give it almost none. Step 4 is write down what you're not doing. A not doing list is so much more powerful than just a feature list. Because every time the ambition comes back, you look at the list and remember you already made this decision when you were thinking clearly. And that's the whole method. It's 1 sentence loop, cut everything else, put a scary deadline, write a not doing list. But there's a gap I need to be honest about. Scoping a game small is step 1, but you actually still have to build it. And if you're a total beginner, that's where people stall. Learning Unity from 4 random tutorials that assume you already know the last thing. That's why this video is sponsored by Zero to Mastery. Zero to Mastery runs structured, project-based Unity game dev bootcamps. And it's an actual path from I just opened the editor to a finished playable game. And these aren't even toy projects. In one, you build a complete RPG. Real quests, rewards, potions, combat, weapon upgrades. In another one, a complete 3D tower defense strategy game, start to finish. And that's the kind of real finished project that this video is about. Except someone's actually helping you through it. Two things that matter most if your problem is finishing. Number one is it's project based, so you come out with a real Unity game that you built yourself. Number two is there is a Discord with over 500,000 students, plus instructors and TAs, and with a channel with basically every topic, including one for finding an accountability buddy to build alongside. The accountability is so much, almost half of the battle with finishing your game. It's a membership, so one subscription grows with you as you grow. There's a link to this exact Unity course in the description and in the pinned comment, and with the code FRIENDS10 you can get 10% off. Going through that link helps the channel too. Check it out, then come back here, because scoping a small game only works if you actually start building. Alright, you've got your one sentence loop, your deadline, your not doing list. And now let me show you what a good scope actually looks like with real examples. Take a platformer. A bad scope would be a Metrovania with an interconnected map, upgrades and a story. A good scope would be 10 handcrafted levels with one mechanic, a double jump and a timer. The second one you can finish. And here's what's wild. It will teach you level design, player feel and game feel better than any giant version would, because you're doing the core thing 10 times instead of doing 40 things at once. Or a puzzle game. Bad scope would be a procedurally generated puzzle roguelike, but a good scope would be 20 handmade levels around a single rule. You will learn more about what makes a puzzle satisfying from designing 20 handmade than from one prototype, which took 3 months with a generator who spits out puzzle pieces where you can't even tell if it's a good puzzle. See the pattern? Good scope isn't doing less because you're weak. It's about doing the important thing more. Go deep instead of staying on the surface, repeat over doing a bunch of things, and that's how you actually get better and how you actually finish your game. So here's the reframe I want you to leave with. Your first game is not your magnum opus. It's not the thing that makes you famous. It's a rep. The first of many, and the entire point of it is to teach you how to finish, because finishing is a separate skill from building and no one trains it. The dev who ships 5 tiny ugly games a year, by the end of the year he will be dramatically better than the one who is still polishing their dream project from January. Not because they're more talented, but because they closed that loop 5 times. They know what done feels like. They shipped. This changes everything about your work, so make it small, make it finishable, make it almost embarrassingly simple, and then actually finish it. That's the whole game, before the game. And if this hit a nerve, if you're sitting at a project right now that's too big, drop a comment down below what you're building with and how long it's been open. Let's be honest about it together, no judgment. I've got a graveyard of these ones too. And if you want to actually start building one of these small finishable projects in Unity, go to Zero to Mastery's link in the description and the comment, and with the code FRIENDS10 gets you 10% off. That's the structured part to go from stuck to shipped. Subscribe if you want more stuff that nobody tells beginners, and now go scope something small. And with that, I hope I'll see you in the next one.